Well, hello, folks, and welcome once again to Flock Talk. Today, I want to talk to you about two different types of solutions to a problem. I'll tell you about the problem in a moment, but I wanted to highlight the differences between a God's law solution and a man's law solution. Here's the headline. This is from an NBC News affiliate in New York from back in 2020. Here's a headline. New Jersey homeowner nearly loses her house because she owed 6 cents in back taxes. Yes, you heard that correctly. 6 cents in back taxes. A nearly 90-year-old woman who suffers from Alzheimer's was close to losing her home after the nickel and penny she owed in taxes in 2019 accrued to more than $300 in interest. Now remember, it's 6 cents she owes in 2019. By the time 2020, towards the end of 2020 rolls around, she now owes $300. Now, let's talk a little bit more about this, and then we want to talk about the solutions. Lisa Suhey, that's her daughter, took to TikTok to tell people her mother was close to being kicked out of her Ocean Township home after the nickel and penny she owed in taxes in 2019 accrued to more than $300 in interest. The town put Glenn Christie Goldenthal's home up for sale on Wednesday, the same day Suhey found out about the tiny debt that was at the center of the whole ordeal. And this is Suhey saying, this is her daughter saying this, "I'm sorry you're selling my mother's house today because she owes you 6 cents. And the person she talks says, "Yeah, it's amazing how these things snowball. Yeah, you know what? It's amazing. Darn thing got out of control. Who knows, right? When you're dealing with a bureaucracy instead of God's law, you're getting away. See, you get away from justice so quickly, and you quickly go into, well, this is what's written. I can't even think about what justice really is. And you know what? If you're not thinking God's law, you will not, after a short while, even have a reference for justice at all, because there's only one source for justice, and that's God's law. And anything outside of God's law is going to be, by definition, injustice. But I want to talk about the solution here. This is where the rubber's going to meet the road. Okay, and she's telling me, yeah, a guy said, it's amazing how these things snowball, says the official. To make matters worse, Suhey, this is the daughter again, who lives in Virginia, said her mother has Alzheimer's, so even if she did know about it, she likely forgot. Apparently, the tax collector called her, Suhey said, because when I talked to him, he said he realized there was something wrong that she didn't understand. Well, don't expect the tax collector to understand much of anything or help or anything. Well, she didn't understand. I tried to call her. I checked the box. I called her. It's on her now. Desperate to save her mother's home, Suhey called everyone at the Monmouth County Township's office, including Mayor Siciliano. Naturally, it's really embarrassing the town would put someone's home up for sale over 6 cents. It's silly, said Siciliano. All right, what I would like to know, well then, at what point is it not embarrassing? 6 cents? Okay, that's embarrassing. $6? $600? I'll tell you what's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to put anybody out of their house, if it is really their house, over any tax bill whatsoever. The Bible gives the state no authority, and the Bible does give the state authority. It does. It recognizes legitimate authority of the state, as we see in Romans 13, and as also Christ said, pay Caesar the things that are Caesar's. Does Caesar ever have the right to tax your property in the scriptures or from the scriptures? The answer is no. God could have said at any time, and the Bible could say at any time, and the Lord spake unto Moses or anyone else, speak unto the children of Israel and tell them that if they own certain things, they have to pay certain taxes because they own certain things. That's what property tax is, but that does not exist in the Bible. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is what you want to know. You can keep paying that quarterly payment, but the back payment triggers an amount that eventually can cause a tax sale, said Siciliano. This is all computer generated, not something that a human can correct. Well, why can't a human correct this? Because it's all bureaucracy now. It's all computers. It's all what the legislation says or what the rules say or whatever. Nobody's even talking about the law word of God, which supersedes all this. And as a shrug of the shoulders, hey, you know what? It generated a tax sale. Now listen to this solution. And this is the key here. This is where we want to talk about the solutions that are God-centered or God-generated from his law word and the solutions that man comes up with. Check out the solution. Could the solution be, hey, you know what? Property taxes are wrong, evil, and wicked? Oh, no. Siciliano said he has reached out to state officials to create legislation allowing there to be limits on how much is owed before a tax sale is triggered. You see what's happening here? We have a problem generated by injustice, and it's going to be fixed by more new legislation. Apparently, we need legislation here to save a lady's house with Alzheimer's, nearly 90 years old. We need legislation. Otherwise, it's just going to keep on going. You know, this is the frustrating thing for me as a pastor and as a person who I trust loves the law word of God. Every solution is possible except the law word of God. And people say, oh, the Bible is draconian. Oh, man, we can't have that. But we can have a woman being kicked out of her house over 6 cents. And we're going to have all this hand-wringing over it. And the only way to fix it, apparently, is more legislation. My friends, please understand this. We cannot go to the people who created the problem to fix it for us. There's only one solution. God has given us a law, and it's offensive to him and offensive to our neighbor to try to use man-made law to fix man-made problems. Why did he even bother to give us his law word if we're going to ignore it in a moment? And I know there's going to be 6 cents, that's not fair. Okay, please tell me how much is fair. No, better yet, please tell me how much is just. And what justice says is that since the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the state is not authorized to tax people, to tax an owner of his property for any amount whatsoever. 6 cents, $6, $600, or $60 million. Either the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, or the earth is the state's and the fullness thereof. Well, you know what? They got it straightened out, but it's ongoing. Suhei said she immediately paid the 6 cents debt, but added, this is the daughter again, but added the ordeal is not over for her mother who has daily struggles due to Alzheimer's diagnosis. Now listen to this. From minute to minute, this isn't over for her. She's called me dozens of times in the last 24 hours asking, is my house going to be okay? Do I have to pack? Where am I going to live? Said Suhei. She had the money to pay. How many people during a pandemic or any other time are being victimized by this greedy, broken system? Well, I agree that it's greedy, and I agree that it's broken. But you know what? We shouldn't have a greedy, broken system that is capable in any way of chasing somebody right out of their own house or any property that they own. The earth really is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. But if we get away from that, if we decide, you know what, we don't need the Bible, we don't need to look at the law word of God, we need to get tax money around here, so let's tax people's property. After all, if they're property owners, they must have the money to pay. That idea is completely foreign from the law word of God. So our solution is not legislation to say, well, you know, if it's 6 cents and $6, whatever, then we're not going to trigger a sale. No. How about this? No more property taxes whatsoever. They're evil, they're wicked, they're wrong. That's the solution. We don't need a bureaucratic solution. We need a biblical solution from the law word of God. And that biblical solution is no more taxing anyone just because they own property. Hey, I hope this was helpful for you all. Thanks for sticking with us so far. Hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope you learn to love, like the psalmist, the law of God.